By the authority given in the statutes of the Open University, I declare this congregation open for the conferment of degrees and presentation of graduates. Distinguished guests, graduates, and friends of the university, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all to the 7th of the Open University's degree ceremonies being held in 2019. We're delighted to welcome the Mayor and Mayoress of Ely, Councillor Michael Rouse and Miss Lauren Rouse, who have found time in their busy diaries to be with us today. It's also my great pleasure to welcome our honorary graduate, Shalena Mountain. We are delighted to be able to honour her today. Each year, the Open University awards a range of qualifications from Certificate of Higher Education to Doctor of Philosophy. Throughout 2019, more than 6,000 graduates are being presented for their qualifications at degree ceremonies such as this one today in Ely. These are being held in 10 different towns and cities across England and also in Belfast, Cardiff, Glasgow and Dublin. This illustrates the extraordinary scale, scope and reach of the Open University. It goes without saying that today is a very important occasion in the life of you, our graduates, your families and loved ones, as well as the university staff who, I hope you will feel, have nurtured and supported you. Now, you could be forgiven, especially given the context in which we're holding this, that today might be so important that it needs to be solemn. Well, you'd be quite wrong. In every sense, this is a day of celebration. So we will be very disappointed if anyone crosses the stage today to anything less than thunderous applause or whatever other way you choose to express your enthusiasm and support. So with that in mind, why don't all of today's graduates briefly stand? Friends, families, and Open University staff, let's start today's ceremony by giving all of our amazing graduates a huge round of applause. Thank you. You can sit down again. There's one more way you can show your appreciation to your graduate. If you post messages or photos on social media, use the hashtag #OUFamily to share your congratulations and celebrations with the world outside, as well as with everyone here at the ceremony today. Today's ceremony will begin with the presentation of those graduates who have gained higher degrees and first degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Laws and have been able to attend here today. They will be presented by Mr. Nicholas McCart, Director of Operations, Student Recruitment and Fees in Academic Services. We will then see the awarding of the honorary degree of Master of the University to Shalena Mountain. Dr. Sally Boyle, Head of the School of Health, Wellbeing and Social Care in the Faculty of Wellbeing, Education and Language Studies, will present Shalena Mountain, who will then sign the honorary graduate book and make a reply. We will then continue our presentation of graduates with those who have gained Bachelor of Science degrees and diplomas of higher education and have been able to attend here today. To conclude the ceremony, I will give a personal address to the graduates. I now call upon Mr. McCart to present the graduates.
Pro-Vice-Chancellor, I shall now present graduates who have gained higher degrees and have been able to attend here today. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, I present to you for a thesis entitled microscopic optical trapping of ultra-cold neutral atoms for applications in quantum information, Michael Copley-May. For the degree of Doctorate in Education, I present to you for a thesis entitled Freelance Language Teachers Professional Development on and with and through Twitter, I present Martina Emker. For a thesis entitled Interests in Forming Dutch Parents and Teachers Positioning in Their Collaborative Relations, I present Geike Klupwijk. And for the Master of Arts in Education, Leadership and Management, for a thesis entitled Investigating Applicants' Perceptions of the Recruitment and Selection Process of Head Teachers in English Secondary Schools, looking at headship through a leadership identity lens, I present Bethany Catherine Kelly. For a thesis entitled Men in School-Centered Initial Teacher Training, an exploration of issues and experiences in one primary SCITT, Lynn Walker. I present to you for the degree of Master of Arts in Art History, Rosemary King. Charlotte Slade. Rebecca Stankiewicz. For the degree of Master of Arts in Classical Studies with distinction, I present Jonathan Taylor. For the degree of Master of Arts in Classical Studies, I present Craig Potts. For the degree of Master of Arts in Creative Writing with distinction, I present Carrie Patton. For the degree of Master of Arts in Creative Writing, I present Joyce Leach. Sarah Margree. Matthew Poynton. For the degree of Master of Arts in English with distinction, I present Frank Edwards. Andrea Smith. Catherine Woodward. For the degree of Master of Arts in English, I present Kitty Claremont. Heather Payne. For the degree of Master of Arts in History, I present Dorothy Burkett. Andrew Berman. Paul Mason. Sophie Michelle. Anastasia Miller. Katrina Perry. For the degree of Master of Arts in Philosophy with distinction, I present Mark Nightingale. For the degree of Master of Arts in Translation, I present Hannah Dean. Amanda Earlham. Elodie King. Plaga Murdanikji. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, I present Peter Igumudu. Craig Clancy. Samuel Duggan. Wayne Eady. Joe Finucane. For the degree of Master in Education with distinction, I present Charlotte Abraham. For the degree of Master in Education, I present Alma Gundu. For the degree of Master of Laws with distinction, I present Jay Bardenhorst. For the degree of Master of Science in Advancing Healthcare Practice, I present Louise Florence. For the degree of Master of Science in Earth Science, I present Rebecca Davis. Matthew Orchard. For the degree of Master of Science in Human Resources Management, I present Simon Loickley. For the degree of Master of Science in Mathematics, I present Lawrence Bell. For the degree of Master of Science in Medicinal Chemistry, I present Sheila Dunleavy. For the degree of Master of Science in Systems Thinking in Practice, I present Robert Kidney. For the degree of Master of Science in Technology Management, I present Sean Sullivan. Pro Vice-Chancellor, I shall now present graduates who have gained Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Laws degrees and have been able to attend here today. The full subject details are printed in the insert within the ceremony programme. I present, for the degree of Bachelor of Arts with First Class Honours, Estelle Drayton. Tracy Elliott. Anne Elsey. Alison Fletcher. Tom Fletcher. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours, I present Donna Agger. Samuel Allen. Catherine Blunderfield. Natalie Boroff. Hazel Crane. Peter Evans. James Hutton. Ken Jones. Hayley Kingsley Pallant. Sven Lehner. Madonna Loredo. Nicola McCabe. Bethany Norman. Elizabeth Peachy. Judith Purchase. John Shoesmith. Amy Stocker. Shane Talling. Lucy Warren. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, I present Susan Cooper. Jan Crow. Gwydion Edwards. Ian Martin. Emily Priest. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Social Work with Honours, I present Dawn Bixby. Hayley Bloomfield. Christopher Bonini. Susan Burrell. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering with Honours, I present Tom Bowman. Paul Crowther. Kevin Gilbert. David King. And for the degree of Bachelor of Laws with Honours, I present Siobhan Lamb. Anthony Parker.
Pro-Vice-Chancellor, colleagues, graduates, guests. Shalina Mountain is a mental health practitioner educator, and expert in personality disorder. Her passionate commitment to recognising and responding to the voices and needs of service users has transformed how some of the most vulnerable and marginalised members of society are treated and supported within public services. Personality disorders are among the most complex and least understood mental health conditions. Though some types of personality disorder, such as obsessive-compulsive disorder, are increasingly well known, the shame and stigma which surrounds them means that those living with the conditions often face particular and acute difficulties in accessing appropriate care and support. Complex individual histories, which may include trauma and overlapping diagnoses, mean that those with personality disorders often struggle to achieve stability and security. This has severe consequences for their well-being, families, and prospects, and can lead to profound isolation and social exclusion. Shalina's own experience of personality disorders has given her invaluable insights into both the challenges and the potential of those living with this diagnosis. As an experienced and compassionate practitioner with a background in counselling and psychotherapy and a long history of training, educating and supervising others working in mental health practice, she has helped countless learners to develop the compassion and empathy required to work with these individuals. In recent years, the challenges faced by those with personality disorders have become more widely recognised, and there has been a concerted effort and investment into understanding and support. The National Personality Disorder Knowledge and Understanding Framework has been crucial to this shift, training frontline staff to work more sensitively and effectively with those living with this disorder. Shalina's efforts have been instrumental in making this initiative a success. This has involved an incredible effort within complex and demanding workplaces, including prisons, hospitals, and other high security environments, which may sometimes be resistant and hostile to new ways of thinking and working. Her tremendous energy, organisation and industry have been awe-inspiring for those who have had the privilege of working with her, and she has won the trust and confidence of practitioners and service users alike. Her emphasis on listening to service users and placing their needs at the heart of the framework has transformed both the clinical approach of her many students and the quality of care for the individuals they work with. In recognition of her success at the front line, Shalina was until recently the national lead for this vital program, based at the Institute of Mental Health. Training on the framework is now being coordinated regionally to ensure that individuals living with personality disorders continue to gain the benefit from knowledgeable and skilled frontline staff. At the Open University, we are incredibly proud of the training, research, and professional development programs we offer around mental health. As the largest provider of higher education in psychology, we are conducting groundbreaking studies into everything from dementia to depression, and we are central to efforts to educate and equip the next generation of practitioners. Through the Knowledge and Understanding Framework, Open University staff have directly observed the incredible contribution that Shalina has made to advances in education and care on personality disorders, We are delighted to celebrate her extraordinary work in this field. Pro-Vice-Chancellor, by the authority of the Senate, I present to you for the honorary degree of Master of the University, Shalina Mountain.
Pro-Vice-Chancellor, colleagues, graduates and guests, I feel very privileged to receive the honorary degree of Master of the University during the Open University's 50th birthday year. To prepare for today, I've spent time thinking about what was important to say and what key things are critical to tell you about the work I have undertaken as the National Personality Disorder Lead. So what is personality disorder? If we look at personality, we're looking at the traits and characteristics that make us unique individuals. To enable children to develop into fully functioning adults, they need to grow up in a healthy environment with good enough parenting, supporting them to achieve their potential, establish positive relationships. For children growing up in dysfunctional environments, for example in care, they do not have the opportunity to form healthy relationships. This means how they think, feel and behave in relation to themselves and others becomes distorted and causes them lifelong difficulties. In some people, this can lead to a long-term pattern of dysfunctional behaviour, which results in repeated contact with the health or criminal justice system and can ultimately lead to a diagnosis of personality disorder. In 2016, a study conducted by the Royal College of Psychiatry suggested that any time 1 in 20 people in the UK will have a diagnosis of personality disorder. Given the condition is very difficult to diagnose, I believe this is a huge underestimation. In 2003, 2 critical documents were published by the Department of Health, which raised the profile of personality disorder. These were personality disorder, no longer a diagnosis of exclusion, and breaking the cycle of rejection. These policy documents clearly specified that people with a diagnosis of personality disorder had to receive treatment. Before that, it was easy to turn people away. The development means that it is now vital to educate NHS, criminal justice and social services workforce so that staff are equipped to work with people with often very challenging behaviour. The Knowledge and Understanding Framework for Personality Disorder was developed to meet this need. The implementation of this training programme has been incredibly difficult due to staff struggling to recognise personality disorder as a real illness, preferring to label individuals as bad, not mad. The programme was innovative, as it was specifically designed to embrace authentic service user involvement and saw people with a lived experience of personality disorder training alongside professionals as equals. Hosted by the Institute of Mental Health in Nottingham, the programme has trained over 60,000 staff and provided them with the skills to better understand and care for this complex group. As someone with a diagnosis of personality disorder, it has been a privilege to be involved in the learning and development of this important work and witness the improvement of the care individuals with the diagnosis get. In closing, I'd like to thank my nominee, Maxine Clift, Associate Director of the Institute of Mental Health and the Open University for this award. Thank you.
Pro-Vice-Chancellor, continuing the presentation of graduates, I shall now present those who have gained Bachelor of Science degrees, foundation degrees, and diplomas of higher education and have been able to attend here today. The full subject details are printed in the insert within the ceremony programme. I present for the degree of Bachelor of Science with First Class Honours, Janet Goodland. Hilary Snelling. Christopher Wright. For the degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours, I present Justin Ashwood. Sylvia Schonsteck. Yolanda Dimek. Jonathan Faraday. Lisa Foley. Rajesh Hariharan. Jessica Horner. Paul King. Harriet Lampy. Stephanie Mallon Carter. Tracy Mayhead. Alice McDaniel. Victoria Mitchell. John Obeng Frimpong. Margaret Odegbami. Arlene Palmer. Carlos Perestrello Correa. Isabel Perkins. Gemma Smith. Barry Stevens. Diane Thorpe. Luke Underwood. Andrew Weatherall. Ben Woodcraft. For the degree of Bachelor of Science, I present Michael Ferrier. Lynn Gray. Joan Latta. John Pickerskill. Olga Sidikova. Tony Smith. Emma Tierney. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Adult Nursing with honours, I present Amy Charge. Philippa Close. Laura Delaney. Kelly Dockrell. Emma Harris. Christy Jupp. Shelley Pyle. Ramona Tryon. Kofi Chumasi Aduchum. Lauren West. Patricia Ziemska. For the Diploma of Higher Education, I present Janet Bell. Ksenia Gerasimova.
Phew. Good morning, everyone, guests, staff, and of course, our wonderful graduates. This has been a very special day for everyone here, one I hope you will remember for the rest of your lives. It's a huge privilege for me to share this very special occasion with you all, and absolutely the best part of my job. I've seen so many fabulous smiles today and heard so many inspiring stories, people who studied with us for 10, 12 years, others who managed to complete in 3 or 4. Amazing. Each of you is extraordinary. Together, though, you're even more extraordinary. I believe you are the most amazing body of graduates anywhere in the UK. In fact, today, all of you and your friends and supporters are probably sharing this auditorium with the most extraordinary people you're ever likely to meet. For family, friends and supporters, you know the incredible efforts that your graduate went to in achieving their qualification. But many of you and many of our graduates today won't know very much about our other graduates and just how amazing you are as a body. So I'd like to take a few moments to show you why I think that's the case. So to help me do that, I'm going to ask a number of questions of our graduates, and if When I ask one, it relates to you, could you put your hand up? So raise your hand if, first of all, you helped to bring up a family during your study. Okay. Put your hand up if you had any caring responsibilities during your study. Hands up if you were employed or did voluntary work at some time during your study. And finally, and please don't put your hand up if you'd rather not to or if it's tricky for you, but who carried out their studies while registered with a disability? Some disabled students are naturally unable to attend, so the number of students with disabilities studying with us are much higher than the show of hands we've seen today. In fact, overall, we have over 22,000 students with disabilities studying with us. That's not only more than any other university in the UK, but almost more students with a disability than all of the other UK universities with disabled students altogether. As you saw, almost every student here has needed to fulfill some other obligation alongside their study. Compare that with students at conventional universities whose extra duties might only extend to the sports team or indeed their commitment to the student bar. Your efforts are so much greater. You are members of a university that believes that where you start in life shouldn't limit where you go. From this day forward, you join an exclusive alumni club of more than 500,000 OU graduates across the globe. They, like you, studied part-time while they held down a job or brought up a family or cared for dependent relatives or possibly all of these things. Part-time study, it sounds more like double time to me. Now let me tell you a little about the OU that you might not know. We are 50 years old this year. 50 years of being in a class of our own, providing incredible learning opportunities for over 2 million people over that time. And we're proud to share this anniversary year with another memorable event, the Apollo moon landing. Now, some of you may have seen, I don't know where it is, but a moon somewhere in this cathedral. That obviously signifies that particular event. Now, when the Apollo astronauts first brought back rock samples, studies concluded then that the moon was devoid of water. However, more recently, world-renowned space researchers at the Open University have shown that moon rocks contain much more water than previously thought. Our teams are building new tools for both the European Space Agency and for NASA that will search for water on or below the lunar surface. And looking further ahead, we are now investigating how to exploit the resources that are present on the surface of the moon by extracting a plentiful supply of water and using surface dust to create building materials. This will become, in future, a critical step towards designing a lunar base for humans. Now, we've been celebrating our birthday with many activities going on across the country. Some of you may have seen the television program recently presented by the comedian Lenny Henry, a graduate of this university. We've also had a number of high-profile lectures given by some of our leading researchers. We also have a series of free history lectures throughout our Open Talks series. If you go to our website at open.ac.uk, you will be able to access all of this and read about our amazing story and indeed the stories of some of our amazing students. An OU qualification is something to be very proud of, something well recognized and well respected. For half a century now, the OU's impact has been phenomenal. From the oceans to the universe, our world-leading research has shaped our understanding of the seas and the skies. And taking that knowledge into people's living rooms has been happening since the early 1970s with the OU-BBC partnership, broadcasting thousands of hours of television programs. Now, I wonder if any of you saw the recent series Blue Planet 2. Well, we were involved in that. And if you did, you were joined by almost half the UK population. Now, we're very proud of the research we conduct at the Open University. At the last evaluation, nearly 3/4 of our research was deemed to be world-leading or internationally excellent. I'll give you one or two examples. Through our Centre for Policing Research and Learning, we're improving policing practices in areas such as cybercrime and the use of social media for police work. We're also doing our bit to tackle hate and online extremism by creating virtual field trips for young people in susceptible communities to help foster inclusiveness. In the world of health, we're researching how the use of virtual personal assistants like Google Home or Alexa can enhance quality of end-of-life care. And in the field of international development, we're focusing on the skills needs of mobile populations of migrants and how these people are challenging notions of citizenship and rights. We're very engaged with employers too, with over 70 of the FTSE 100 companies sponsoring staff to study with the OU. From small businesses to the NHS, the OU inspires both employers and employees to create better futures. In fact, a recent UK government survey found that employers perceive part-time students to be hardworking, committed, and disciplined, and recognise the importance of supporting their employees' study aspirations. 7 years ago, the Open University led the way in digital innovation too, when we set up the UK's first platform for massive online open courses, or MOOCs as they became known, through an initiative called FutureLearn. The online resources provided free learning for over 8 million learners across the globe. And we keep on giving. Anyone can take their pick of the 1,000 free bite-sized courses on our award-winning OpenLearn site. Lifelong learning is available at the click of a mouse. Internationally, we're doing wonderful work too, often with those who need our help the most. Our Zambian educational school-based training project, ZEST for short, saw the OU working with the international partner World Vision to train up to 4,000 primary school teachers and leaders across Zambia's central province. Closer to home, the OU is working with 21 police forces across the UK to train the next generation of police officers. And the learning doesn't stop there. We're also working with people in prison who want to turn their lives around as well. Now, changing lives is exactly what the Open University is about and has been about for the last 50 years. So in graduating today, you become a member of a university that is a world leader in technology, in innovation, and in helping people to learn. We are indeed a movement of millions with a mission of one. Now, there are a host of people who have contributed to your achievement today, from the advisor who handled your first inquiry, the academics who designed and wrote your course materials, to the student services staff who supported you when you felt you couldn't go on. And of course, our amazing associate lecturers who guided you through the whole journey, culminating in your crossing of the stage here today. So let's take a moment, graduates, to say thank you to the Open University staff who made all of this possible. Now, I know there's only one thing harder than being an OU student, and that's living with one. We must not underestimate the incredible support you have had from your family and friends to enable you to keep going with your studies. So graduates, take a look around and see if you can spot your loved ones in the audience, and let's give them a huge round of applause too. When you leave today, you become an ambassador for the Open University and all that it stands for. So please do stay in touch. Join our alumni careers group Toucan on LinkedIn, share your professional experience and make new connections. Or try one of our free online courses. Or maybe when you've had a pause to recover perhaps, think about continuing your studies with us. You may have already been congratulated by members of our alumni team. They will be in touch to tell you what our Alumni Association can offer, as well as ways you can give back to your university through our Open Up the Future 50th anniversary campaign. If you haven't already done so, please also visit our Careers and Employability stand. Both the alumni and careers teams are based here in the Hayward Theatre, where your photos were taken. Remember, you can receive free careers and employability advice for up to 3 years after you graduate. We're really interested to know how the unique qualities of being an OU graduate help you in your careers, in your life ambitions, and in your personal development. The more we know, the more we can convince those who feel nervous or unsure about embarking on part-time distance learning themselves. You are the personification of the motto on our crest, learn and live. Take the opportunity to continue to do that and indeed support others in their learning journey. Now, before we close, I'd like our graduates to stand for just one last time and for us all to give them one more thunderous round of applause. Well done. The proceedings of this degree ceremony have been completed, and I now declare this meeting of congregation closed. Would all of you who are able to stand, please do so. And please join us for a celebratory drink outside in the gardens afterwards.